Awesome. It is 2 o'clock East Coast time. We are going to get rolling.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who has joined us today. We are so pleased. Normally, Tally and I are on our webinars alone, but today we are pleased to have Deanna and Quentin on the line with us, who are part of the Marquee membership team. And as many of you know, we recently announced our partnership with Marquee. So this is an awesome opportunity. And today, together, we are going to be talking about how this partnership is going to allow you to buy, sell, and loan on luxury handbags with a lot more confidence. And we're going to talk about some of the specifics on how our partnership is going to help you do that. I did see the poll results. And so it looks like there's a variety of things people are looking to learn today, more about Marquee and how it works. Deanna and Quentin are going to be covering that, as well as the benefits of being a member. We are going to talk about how Bravo and Marquee work together. Tally's going to be talking about that. And we're actually going to kick things off with trends and insights in the market. So it looks like we're going to cover the gamut of everything that everybody wants to learn, which is great. A few housekeeping items. As always, we are recording today's webinar, and we'll send you the recording. This is a webinar, I think probably more than any of the others that we put on, where we really want you guys to participate. We do have some polls that we'll be asking, but jump in with questions. You have Deanna and Quentin here who can answer all your questions about the pre-owned luxury handbag space. So leverage them. And as always, right, we're here to help. So if at any point you want to learn more about something that we're talking about, you want to become a Marquee member or a Bravo customer, reach out to Tally or Deanna or Quentin, and we'll get you in touch with the right person. So what we're going to cover today is who is Marquee? What are the benefits of being a member? And Deanna's also going to show you all the experts on the Marquee team that you'd have access to if you are a member. Then we actually want to deep dive into the private learning platform, or the PLP. What is it? How does it work? And we're actually going to show you what it means that you have real-time access to the experts on the Marquee team. We're also, Tally then is going to jump into how you can leverage Bravo's estimator to improve your LTV ratio. So between the experts on the Marquee team, the ongoing and continuing education you get with them, and then some of the technology that we have in the Bravo platform, you're set up to really knock it out of the park when it comes to buy, sell, and loan on the pre-owned luxury handbags. And then lastly, we're going to go over membership rates with you as well. Okay, so let's jump into why we've chosen to partner, and there's two parts to this. First, I want to turn it over to Tally to talk about why we chose specifically to partner with Marquee. And then Quentin, I'm going to turn it over to you to say why you've chosen specifically to partner with Bravo. So Tally, take it away.
Yeah, so first of all, our mission at Bravo is to serve as the catalyst to advance the pawn industry. And what that means is partnering with other companies who share that same philosophy and the same values as we do. We want to partner with the best in the industry, and always the best, and that's Marquee. Quentin and I have actually known each other for a long time, and we've worked together for a really long time. I love his company. I love their philosophy. And Deanna's joined a little bit more recently, and Deanna and I have also had a really awesome relationship since she's been in this space as well. And so it was really sort of like a match made in heaven. I was like so excited when we finally got to put the pieces together and put together a program that benefits both Marquee customers and Bravo customers, and really drives home the fact that handbags is where it's at, and however we can help you get handbags on your shelf, to start loaning on handbags, to have more confidence in handbags. We want to make that partnership, we want to make that introduction to you so that you can enter that space, because really, like, that's the hot space. And so Marquee does that, and yeah, I'm just so excited that we got to finally launch this thing.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Tally and Kathleen. Appreciate that.
And then Quentin, if you just wanted to speak, kind of piggybacking off of what Tally said, from your perspective, why you've chosen to partner with Bravo specifically.
Oh, okay,
what
great.
You think
can you hear me okay?
For the pawn.
Great. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. So yes, thank you so much for that introduction, Kathleen and Tally. I do think this is a match made in heaven. We have known of Bravo system for many years, and of course, we're very excited to be a part of this. And we are part of the Pawn community in terms of our relationship with NPA and also attending the trade shows that has. So for those of you that are not familiar with Marquee Luxury is a wholesale supplier of pre-owned designer goods. We buy and sell authentic items from brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Hermes. Various types of items. We focus on handbags, accessories, and fashion jewelry. One of the more recent businesses that we started is Marquee Mentor, and I'll let Deanna get more into that later on. But essentially what that is, it's an advisory group of industry professionals to provide you guidance on how to launch and also grow your resale business. So that includes many different topics, including authentication, what items to buy, where to buy them, where to sell them, and other information like that. So I'll let Deanna get into that a little bit later on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've established why we feel like this was a no-brainer for our companies to come together and formalize a relationship that's been in the works for a long time. But let's specifically talk about why partner now. And this is where we're going to dive into some of the market trends and consumer trends. I welcome anybody on the line to jump in as I'm going through this if you want to add some color and context. All the information I'm going to be sharing with you is from a very recent and reputable study done by ThreadUp. So if we look at the numbers that you're seeing on the screen here on the left, we're looking at resale market trends. The bottom line is the resale market is poised to accelerate. So this isn't a stagnant market, it's a growing market. In fact, it's expected to grow 5 times in the next 5 years. So there's massive opportunity that's sitting in the resale market, which of course is fantastic for pawnbrokers. Then if you look at the graph on the right, what that's showing you is not just resale, but online resale trends. So consumers, regardless of what's happening, right, with COVID and people stuck at home, consumers still want to consume. They have money to spend and they're going to spend it. And so they're looking for those same bargains that maybe, right, they'd be out shopping in store and brick and mortar for. They still now more than ever are seeking those bargains from home. And so we see that the online retail is actually set to grow nearly 70%. So, you know, Tally and I have done several webinars on the importance of e-com, the importance of mobile. So if those are channels in your, if those are in your marketing and your sales mix right now for channels, awesome. Now is the time to be saying, how do we leverage those and leverage those specifically with, you know, some of the luxury goods that Quentin and Deanna are going to talk about. If those channels are not in your sales and marketing mix, we strongly urge you to start considering adding those to your mix. 1, because we have holiday season coming. 2, we have consumers at home because of COVID. And 3, we can see that the online resale market is poised to continue to grow, right? So there's a lot of money being left on the table if we're not taking advantage of the opportunity that exists. If we move on then to consumer insights, what this is showing you in the top graph there is where consumers and shoppers are planning to shift their spend. So again, COVID is not slowing people down from spending their money. It's just people are kind of shifting where and how they're going to spend their money. And you can see that the luxury market is set to grow, but in particular, the secondhand market is where consumers and shoppers are looking to shift their spend. And in a couple of slides, we'll actually talk about why that is or why we believe that is. You know, one of the things that was interesting with COVID is that we saw people had a lot more time on their hands. They also realized there's all these goods sitting in their house that they're not making money off of. And so we saw that people were cleaning out their closets and saying, how can I actually make money off the things that are sitting at my house, right? And we know that some of their luxury goods were part of that. And then the last stat on there is just that you have more and more people who are saying, yes, I've either bought secondhand or I'm absolutely prepared to do that, right? If money's getting tight, I still want to be able to spend, I still want to maintain a certain lifestyle, and I'm willing to shift where and how I'm spending my money. I'll stop there real quick and just ask, you know, Tally, Deanna, Quentin, if there's anything you want to add as, you know, experts in this field to some of the things that I've mentioned here.
Well, you certainly hit the nail on the head in terms of the growth of this particular segment of the market, just in general, but specifically as a result of COVID. Over the last few months, these have been the busiest months for us from the beginning. So from our clients' perspective, they're selling through this product even faster than they were before, and it's certainly some of our pawn clients have definitely grown in the last few months specific to this product. So definitely, I think not only are there a lot of converging trends from a macro level, but also specifically today, those specific trends are now being accelerated as a result of COVID. So to some degree, I think things are just going to grow at an even faster pace than what has been suggested, because that report actually came out earlier in the year before COVID. So I think things are really going to accelerate at this point.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And you know, there's this hustle among pawnbrokers right now to figure out how to grow loan balances back to a healthy place. That includes looking forward at who your target demographics are for loan customers, right? A lot of loan customers were aging out. And so pawnbrokers have been trying to figure out how to capture millennials and Gen Z. This is the next generation of pawn customer, right? And millennials and Gen Z really, really favor sustainability and conscious shopping. And that's really important that you, as pawnbrokers, really expand on that idea. Offer more things than loans, offer consignment to bring in handbags. Once they're on your shelves, people know you start to take them. So you can't just all of a sudden start crossing your fingers that handbags are gonna start coming into your store. You can use MARQUE to help you get those items on the shelf and tell the story of sustainability. You know, millennials and Gen Z use Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace, and they're using these peer-to-peer apps to transact. But what you miss out of that is authentication and the expertise of knowing what you're buying. And so that is really where you can capture millennials and Gen Zs into your store. Have them come in to do the transaction in your store. Use the Marquee Mentor program to help authenticate. Use Entropy as the device to help authenticate and guarantee your authentication. Use all of the tools available to you to try to raise your loan balance and capture a new demographic of customers that you might not have been able to reach before.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think the next couple of slides here really just sum up essentially what Tally and Quentin have touched on, which is consumer sentiment. I know this may seem soft, like why do we care how people feel about things? But I'll tell you as a marketer, it's critical to understand that, you know, and I'm sure those of you on the line probably understand this too, that purchasing is often tied to an emotional feeling, right? It elicits some sort of emotion. And so it's important to understand that with the growing trend of sustainability, the growing trend of, you know, younger generations, millennials, but Gen Z in particular, having more discretionary income and being kind of considering themselves people who value, you know, the environment, that they actually feel proud when they buy secondhand. They feel like that idea of consumption aligns with their values of, you know, sustainability and supporting environmental movements. And so, so the fact that they're actually feeling very proud to do this also presents a lot of opportunity for you to be engaging a whole new generation, really kind of at their core values. And then the last thing, and again, Tally kind of touched on this here as well, that we'll touch on is, you know, who your key demographics are. So Tally, if you want to just switch to that next slide here, we can see that women are certainly a key demographic. In fact, we look at, you know, 62 million women bought secondhand products in 2019. As Quentin mentioned, I'm sure, you know, especially since COVID and since we're in the back half of 2020, that number has, you know, increased quite a bit, but that was up significantly from 2018. And so when we think about luxury goods, especially luxury handbags, right, we can understand then with women being a key demographic for secondhand, why there's a natural alignment between what Marquee is going to be talking about and who's actually buying. And then as Tally mentioned, the younger generations are your key demographic as well for a number of the reasons that we touched on. So knowing how to engage them, how to sell to these folks, and how to appeal to them is going to be critical. So those are a lot of the market, the consumer trends that we're seeing. If you have any questions about those, feel free to jump into the chat. Tally, I think we have another poll here that we wanted to launch. And really just kind of asking all of you, if you're in this space, if you're not, what's been your roadblock? And then Deanna is going to jump into actually showing you, first talking about the benefits of the PLP, but then actually showing you how it works. And we want to make sure that we're touching on the most relevant pieces of what's available to you. So please go ahead and answer that poll. All right, looks like we have a couple of people. Anybody else who'll jump in there? There we go. Awesome. So yeah, so it looks like we have some people on the line who know a little bit about it. Equal amount of people who are very unfamiliar. Deanna, this is obviously going to be something you're going to touch on, right? That authentication is very difficult and risky. The cost seems high. Quentin, that may be something you want to talk about, or Deanna, as we think about the wholesale rates.
Sure.
Also questions about marketing those items. So awesome. This is great. So Deanna, I think you're probably going to touch on all of these things anyways.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share. Okay. Then I'll share my screen and show that PLP. So I think either there's different categories when it comes to handbags within the pawn industry. Either you're doing it successfully now, or you're everyone else and you're trying to figure out how to do it, how to grow it. And it's one of those categories that you kind of have to look at, you know, when you started with gold or you started with diamonds or anything like that, there's a learning curve. There's a lot of different factors for pricing, resale value, styles, brands, materials, all of that. What Quentin has built with Marquee Luxury is literally, besides the largest wholesale company in the US of authentic goods, but it's, you know, the value that's there, not just with the bags, but the information that we're providing within the Marquee Mentor program. Literally, it's like having a huge support system behind you in real time to help you literally build and grow the side of your business. So the mentor program was launched just a couple of months ago, and what we had found is that there was a massive group of people out there that want to get into this industry, but there's no place that really shows them and guides them how to do it. I mean, there's Facebook groups and things like that, but you know, I don't know about you, but I don't want 75 people's different opinions telling me what they think I should do. I want someone who's done it before that can help me launch, build, and grow this, you know, this business, the luxury resale business. And of course, it's always a focus on handbags. So the crux of what the mentor program is the private learning platform, which is built on Slack, but you have access to not only myself and Quentin, but we've brought on industry professionals that are there at the ready to answer any questions that you have. And this can be absolutely anything that has to do with business or products or anything like that. These are just, you know, the advisors that we have on right now. We're always bringing new ones in, but, you know, I think everybody knows Beth and Michael. We've got Graham Wetzberger, who worked for 8 years at The Real Real and built their authentication department. We have Angel Torres, who is kind of an Instagram influencer, but she has a direct line to Louis Vuitton. So we know what's coming out, when it's coming out, and the pricing, which is key to know what to bring in, because that style, that bag at that price point is going to be highly sought after very soon. So we have market updates right there. We have Larky Dam, who is an attorney that helps with, you know, any questions around accounting or legal or anything like that. And I understand the pawn industry is a little bit different, but then we have, you know, marketing, we have social media, and then that's not even all the members that post, you know, on a daily basis that you can learn from. Like, we're creating content to put in there for you to learn from. Like, I think some of you know that I wrote a few books. So we're breaking those down and sharing that information and creating even deeper information that is exclusive to the mentor members that you will be able to download and, you know, work with your employees to teach them, this is what we look for. This is what a Fendi is. This is what this material is. I mean, there's so much information, but having someone that you can go to, that you can trust the information that they're giving you is key. So if I can share my screen, I'll kind of take you through the PLP and show you how it works.
Totally. I was just going to jump in. I did have a screenshot. So if you're a Bravo customer, you can actually customize your dashboard to have Marquee Mentor on there. And when you click it, it will take you to the Slack channel, right? So this is exactly what Deanna is going to show right now. But I just wanted to show that within Bravo, you can customize that little ping pong ball to make it really easy to go out and get the information directly from Bravo.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share. So first off, I don't know if most people know that we have showrooms across the US. We've been very, very busy this year. We have Atlanta, Georgia, we have Las Vegas, we have Los Angeles, we have Irvine, which is the corporate office. And then we're moving towards opening in New York, Dallas, and Silicon Valley. And these are open for you to come in and at any time, just, go ahead and call either your rep or myself or whatever to schedule an appointment, and you can come in, look at products, buy products, kind of, whatever you need. I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows that I'm here to support you 100% any way that I can. This whole company is the same exact way. So wanted to show you this first, and then let's get into the PLP, which I live here 7 days a week. I have the app on my phone, and there's questions coming in all the time. The one channel that seems to be the biggest one is authentication. And for you as a pawnbroker, okay, you know that I worked at Entropy for 4 years. Absolutely use Entropy. You need that certificate to sell. But say somebody walks in and they bring a bag in to you or your employees and you're not sure what it is or anything like that. What you can do is you can take pictures and post this instantly into the authentication channel, and myself or Graham or anybody else is going to jump in just like she did this morning. Is it authentic? What can I get for it? What's the style name? These are all broken down by channels. But the thing is it's nice to have that first layer before you spend the $20 on Entropy. It's kind of nice to know, okay, I need to move forward with this because I'm going to loan on it. But knowing that you can post these pictures and have the real-time response from people that you can trust, from these industry professionals, is key. And that's, again, I know there's Facebook groups out there, but me personally, if I'm going to, buy or loan on a $5,000 bag, I don't want opinions from random people. I want someone who knows what they're talking about. But again, this is all broken down by channels. And as a Bravo and Marquee, if you sign up for the mentor program through Bravo, if you're a Bravo user, you can have up to 3 employees in the PLP. So it's not just you as the business owner being able to access this, because while that's great, you're not always, forward facing with your customers all day, every single day. And then if you have someone that looks at bags, when they're on vacation or whatever, you need that layer of trust. And this is what we've created here. And again, there's a lot, we're creating content all the time that you can download. We do a lot of videos on different topics that you can go back and watch anytime. We're creating educational courses that as a mentor member, you will be able to access those for free, whether they're held in the PLP or any other platform. You get $100 credit each month for signing up to use at Marquee Luxury Wholesale. We have referral programs. There's just so many benefits. But for myself, being able to share what I have learned, the mistakes I have made, the huge ones, and my wins, to help people that are just starting out, that this is just really a passion for them, that is amazing. But through the pawnbrokers that need that help, that instant help. You can't wait an hour, you can't wait 24 hours, you can't wait a weekend to figure out if you're gonna loan or buy outright this bag. So that's, I think, the biggest takeaway for you guys, is just having that, instant access to all of us. So that's the
Deanna, that is awesome. And we have a question for you guys. So Shane's asking, so in that authentication app tab, people are putting pictures in, but who can respond? Is it the professionals, or can anyone who's looking at the channel respond?
Anybody can respond, but who the advisors are, who I am. You know who Foxy LV is. So what you can do, like if you wanted to ask me a question, you would just tag me. If you want to ask a question to someone and you don't feel it's appropriate to put in a public channel, you can DM. This is literally a community that's built on making sure that you're successful. So anybody, like you can see here, anybody know model names? Foxy LV has responded here. Anybody knows what this sticker means? Graham actually, he wasn't right on this one. I know because I did the research on this, but everybody here wants to make sure that you have the correct information. And again, you know, Graham was at the Real, but I don't have a problem saying actually that sticker is for that. So I hope that answered your question.
Does it show if somebody is an advisor in like their profile, or is there any like indication that they are one?
Yeah, so see like Quentin is advisor, Deanna, Mark, it's either going to say Marquee Mentor or it'll say their name and advisor.
That's awesome.
So you know exactly who it is. Yeah.
Perfect. Does that answer your question, Shane, on that?
And it's not just about bags too. I mean, this is all kind of luxury. I mean, you can see someone posted these shoes by Salvatore Ferragamo, and then we've got scarves in there. So it's basically all luxury. It's not just handbags. Handbags is our wheelhouse, but you know, we don't stop at just that. So if, you know, somebody brings in a Chanel piece of jewelry or a Tiffany piece of jewelry and you're not sure, we have an advisor that is specific just for luxury jewelry. So Cicely could jump in and answer that question. Shoes, I know a little bit about. Graham, we have Louis Castro, who is an advisor who just is phenomenal with shoes. I mean, I can't say enough wonderful things. So when we built this and we invited these professionals in, we wanted to make sure that we had people that had a different background, but all experience within the resale industry. So it doesn't matter that you're pawn, you're in resale, you know, so you want to make sure that you're aligning yourself and working with companies that are really going to support and help you grow that side of your business.
Also, one more thing I might add, Deanna, is we go into the pricing section, and what we do in here often is we also provide you industry trends. So as an example, sometimes certain styles of bags are trending better than others, meaning the pricing, there may be some appreciation with the price. So a lot of times that happens as a result of the brands re-releasing a similar style or the same style as a vintage style. So as a result, for us as a company on the wholesale side, since we see that upward movement and we have some inside knowledge as a result of our advisors who have inside knowledge with Louis Vuitton as an example, or Chanel in terms of certain styles that are upcoming or going to be released in the future, we then go out and buy as much of that product as possible. And then of course we sell it to our wholesale partners. So for that purpose alone, you have some insider tips, just like you would in the stock market. So again, if you know that a certain item is going to appreciate, then you buy as much of that product as you can. And then you can advertise on your side, of course, to try and bring more of that from your customers from the street. Because in the end, of course, you will get a great deal or a better deal from the street than you would potentially from a wholesaler like us. But we know our role in terms of in the wholesale universe with the pawn industry. We start a lot of times with a starter package, whether it's 20 units, 100 units, or whatever the case may be. We start the pawn shop up. Then as time progresses on, then of course the pawn shop will get more product in from the street. And so then at that point, we become their shelf filler. But having the guidance in the Marquee Mentor program gives you some insight in terms of what you should look for and what you should basically make sure you pay a premium price for if you have inside knowledge that that item is going to appreciate in the near future. So that inside knowledge is extremely valuable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
It's exciting. I like to be able to, you know, be a support system for anyone looking to get in, but I have a real soft spot for anyone in the pawn industry because, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The pawn industry is, number one, the greatest group of people ever. but the thing is like I direct people because I talk to people from all walks of life. Everybody's looking for a bag. I always tell them to go to their local pawn shop before shopping at Fashion File, The Real, any place like that. Number one, it's going to be a great experience. Number two, they're going to be authentic and they're going to stand behind it. But number three, they're going to work with you. They're going to, you know, you can offer $50 off the price, you know, and they're not going to get offended by that, like, you know, some consignment owners. So I think it's just such an opportunity. And if you're not doing it right now, why?
So let me piggyback off of that. It sounds like the reason, based on the polls, why people aren't doing that is because of fear. So hopefully with the Marquee Mentor Program and Entropy, those are two pieces of, you know, two tools that you have at your fingertips to help you with the confidence. Bravo is another tool to help you with confidence in taking in handbags. And really what I want to talk about today is a lot of data, right? And so this is Bravo's secret sauce. You know, we get asked a lot, what makes Bravo better or different from other pawn platforms? It's our data. It's the way we structure it. And it's that we have global data that's served up by Microsoft reporting services. Why global data is important specifically for handbags is simply the quantity of transactions. Right? So as a pawnbroker, you only see so many handbags. Multiply that by 1,200 stores across the United States that are also seeing handbags, right? And that data becomes more meaningful. So I'm going to show you a few data points within the Bravo reporting because we have a lot of customers on here that I think are really helpful for your loan to value ratio and making sure that that is solid. And then also some different pointers on qualifying the customers and then the loan underwriting questions, which we've been working with Marquee, and we have a little bit more work to do in Bravo as far as those metadata questions, but those should be updated in the next few weeks. So let's dive right into the data in Bravo. And I just took a super simple example. So this is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. And you can see a lot of data here, right? This is the product knowledge that you get from Bravo. This is confidence in one report. So you've got Entropy to give you confidence, you've got the Marquee Mentor Program to give you confidence, and you have the actual stats that's happening in pawn shops today, right? And so up in the top left, I'm just gonna walk you through some things that I think are important in this report. So the first is condition rating. Condition rating really matters with handbags, and it doesn't necessarily disqualify handbags if they're as is, okay? There's still margin to be made on as is handbags. There's still value there. It's just important that you're not giving as much for an as is handbag as you are for a like new handbag. Okay, so don't disqualify a handbag because it's stained or the leathers are really, the straps are really worn or there's a stain on the inside. People will buy that, right? So don't disqualify it immediately based on that. Come in, look at the data and see if there is a market for as is. What's the average loan amount for one of these bags in as is condition? And then what are you gonna sell it for in as is condition, right? And so that's these two things. So this is how much it's loaning for, this is how much it's selling for based on condition. This condition rating isn't totally subjective, right? We ask you questions and Bravo determines the condition rating based on the way that you answer the questions. This means that your employees don't have to be experts in making sure that they ask the same questions every single time. This is the piece that we're working with Marquee on of what is important that the employee takes note of while they're taking in the handbag and what kind of weight should be allocated to the way that they answer those questions. And then how does that translate into condition rating? So if you rate in Bravo that this smells bad and has stains all on the inside, it might immediately just move that down to acceptable, okay? And then your employees aren't looking and hemming and hawing and saying, oh, I don't know, it could be good or it could be acceptable, right? Bravo's gonna do that heavy lifting for you. We've also have forfeiture amounts by condition. So you can see that maybe this forfeits more if it's in a worse condition or if it's in a mint condition, like if it's like new, the average forfeit amount is 0. People aren't forfeiting their like new bags. They're forfeiting bags that are in less condition than that, okay? Another thing that's interesting is the trending on this. Okay, so Quentin is giving you trending information before it's even in Bravo, right? So you'll have a heads up on what's coming and what's gonna be trending. This is more of a, you know, that's a leading indicator. This is a different type of indicator. This tells you what's actually happening in pawn shops. Okay, so if you get through the PLP, you see that this handbag is going to become popular and maybe it's the value is going to go up. You can be the first in the market to be able to take advantage of that insider knowledge. Over here, you have averages. So what's the average forfeiture rate, average redemption rate? Obviously, that's an opposite of each other. How often is it stolen? So this can be in-store or internal or external. It's just a shrink. And where do you want to put it? So are you going to put it behind a case? Or are you going to put it where everybody can reach it? And that's an indicator of that. And then the last piece is up in the top right, and that's the channel distribution, right? So you can sell bags anywhere, literally in store, on Buya, on eBay, and you can see the turnover rate. So what's important about the turnover rate is that if you know that you're gonna turn over this item in 60 days, will you loan a little bit more on it? The name of the game right now is how much money can I lend? Because everybody's sitting on fat stacks of cash. And if you're competing against Cash America, they've got an extra, or First Cash, they have an extra 200 million of cash. And so you need to be able to lend the most amount that you can confidently. Don't let a bag walk out your door. And if you can't make the loan work, see if they'll do a consignment, right? So within Bravo, we have consignment. You just click on the little consignment tab and you can make the deal with the customer right there. You can do a percentage split. Maybe Deanna can talk about what, I don't know if you know what a common consignor split is on handbags, but you can create the terms right here. Don't let the bag walk, especially if you're in the PLP and they're like, this is a bag, figure out how to make a transaction. Consignment's a really good place. Consignment's a really good place for millennials. It's a really good place to go for Gen Z. It's a really good place to go for people that don't need cash right now, but they want to buy a new handbag. They want to upgrade it, right? And so you can use consignments for this demographic of customer and this type of item.
Tally, one thing I might mention, if you go back to the prior screen, is there is this is a great example, and also there's some great data on this particular slide. So this particular bag, if you're not familiar with it, it's a Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. It's probably the highest demand for Louis Vuitton in terms of style. This bag, the reason that some of the sales prices are going down is because when you buy this bag new from Louis Vuitton, it actually comes with an internal pouch. That internal pouch, nowadays, people are splitting from the sale. So as a result, there is some trending down in terms of the buy price or the sale price on your side. For us as buyers, and we buy internationally and domestically, we are seeing the price actually trending down for the actual bag itself, while the pouch is actually trending up. That pouch used to be just an addition that they would just put in the bags. Nowadays, people are, like I said, splitting them and then selling them separate. The pouch itself is selling anywhere between $300 to even up to $700. And if it's a limited edition pouch, it's even going more than for the actual bag itself. So that's why you're seeing some downward movement in terms of the price point here. So we do give you that inside knowledge, again, in the Marquee Mentor program. And then if you're working with us on the wholesale side, then also we try to steer you to buy that type of item. So if you do see a Neverfull that walks in with the pouch still inside, that's definitely an item that you want to buy and pay almost retail price for it, because the pouch itself will increase your margins overall.
And then you can also verify the authenticity almost instantaneously by posting in the authentication channel in the PLP. So within 10 minutes, you know whether you're going to loan on it or buy it outright or consign it.
Quentin, I just want you to know I was actually in a heated debate with my boyfriend the other day. He did not believe that people would pay that much money for a designer bag or any sort of accessory. So now you've just given me the ammo I need to close the loop on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about just for 1 second, and this again has to do with how do you lend the most money, right? You qualify the item, you qualify the customer. I know Jerry's on here. There's a lot of questions that you can ask to qualify both of these, the person and the item. There's also data that you can use, right? So you're having a conversation with the customer, you're using the tools in the back end and the PLP, and you're using the data that Bravo's giving you. So here's an example of a customer. She's, either a 5-star customer or a 3-star customer, depending on whether we're going just based off default rate or just off of customer lifetime value, okay? So those are the 2 ways to rate customers in Bravo. You can see her forfeiture rate and her redemption rate. Obviously, I think that that's important to look at when you're deciding how much money to give Angelina. You can see more information here, how long she's been a customer, how often she comes in, how many loans she currently has overdue. And then you can also see her average loan amount by condition rating in all of, in all of these different conditions, and how many pawn service charges you've gotten off of all of these, right? So it actually looks like in the very good category, we're getting the most pawn service charges out of her. And then also, the customer loyalty platform within Bravo, that's this green box right here. So how do you lend the most to your best customers? You tell your employees, hey, we want to lend more to our best customers. How do employees know how to do that? From the customer that they see all the time? Or how are they supposed to make that judgment call without having full data to be able to do so? And then once they do have a good customer in front of them, how do they know how much to lend, right? If you can make this automated and systematic, right? So my 5-star customers, we can give them 15% more on this loan. I have a customer reward that I'm able to give Angelina immediately. That's from $700 to $805. You just put an extra $105 on the street, and that's a qualified customer, right? So now you're growing your loan balance by $105, and you're doing so in a responsible way with a customer that you have a really long-term relationship with, okay? And we know that it's a handbag, and we know that the forfeiture rate on handbags is also low. So you can use both of these tools to make the most qualified loan as possible for the biggest dollar amount. Again, don't let the handbag walk out the door. Lastly, I just want to touch on the loan underwriting questions. Most of the people here, I think 70% are Bravo customers, so you know what this looks like. If you're not a Bravo customer, this is the loan underwriting or the quality assessment. These questions are always optional. You do not have to answer them. But when you're qualifying a bag, it's probably important that you're asking a certain number, you're answering a certain number of questions to make sure you're doing it consistently. If you have multiple stores, this becomes even more important because your span of control tightens the more questions that are being asked and answered. And these are going to be driven by MARQUE. So they're helping us design these questions in a way and weighted in a way that makes sense. And when you use the PLP, these should align just like magically. Okay. So that's it, I think, for me. And so I'm going to flip it back to Deanna and to Quentin to talk about membership rates.
Sure. So as a Bravo member, okay, so first off, MARQUE Mentor is a membership. And it's either monthly, but for yearly, we've given a discount to Bravo members. Sorry, just lost my train of thought there. So with the discount, it's $416.50 for the year. This gives you, number one, $100 credit each month to use for wholesale goods at MARQUE Luxury. As a member, you have instant access to that. You have a dedicated account executive. And if you don't know about MARQUE Luxury, if you're not that familiar, super simple. You can buy one, you can buy 500 bags. It's free shipping within the US. If you're not happy with a bag, it's free return shipping. There's also, if say you bring 10 bags in, 8 sells really quickly and those last 2 don't, we'll take them back and you have that credit to use. So they make the process super simple. You have access to the PLP. All educational materials and courses, you have free access to those. Any information that is shared in there is private. We don't share it outside of that. Again, the $100 monthly credit, and then we have a referral program, which is anybody that signs up and says, how did you hear about us, and they use your name, you get another $50 to use at wholesale for MARQUE Luxury. So, Quentin?
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so in terms of the membership, yes, you do get a $100 credit. That gets used often by our MARQUE Mentor members. Basically every single month they're utilizing that. And so to some degree, we're paying you to be a part of this, but in reality, of course, overall, we're looking to expand the industry because we do think that there's a lot of opportunity to expand it through education. And of course, on the supply side, of course, we are trying to increase our supply every single day. So at the moment, we're receiving approximately 1,000 units a week, which we're processing, and then we're sending out. I may not have mentioned earlier, but we have different levels of clients in terms of our operation. And we also provide priority in some cases to those different levels. And so it's important that for certain styles, there's only so much to go around. So like the one that we mentioned earlier, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, we do get many of those a month and probably in the 300 range, but at this point they go in priority order. So if you're an active customer with us, then of course you are priority. And then of course the condition grading, as Tally mentioned earlier, is something that we're going to be syncing up alongside Bravo, because that is an important factor in terms of the pricing. Because as you're bringing in the product, it's important that you're looking for certain nuances on certain styles. And also we give you that guidance within the PLP inside of the mentor program as well. So there's definitely a significant amount of benefit if you're already in the business or if you're looking to get started in terms of designer goods.
Awesome, thank you. There was a question in the chat around that membership pricing for multi-store. So are those prices, or discounts per store, or is that something that you'd be addressing offline?
So most likely we would address some of those on a case-by-case basis, but as Deanna mentioned earlier, if you sign up, you have access with 3 of your employees. So that could be 3 stores. It depends on how you want to work that out.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And Mark, if you want, we could have Quentin or Deanna reach out to you and talk more specifically about that. All right, any other questions for Tally, for Deanna, for Quentin? As we're gonna stay on the line here, we wanna make sure you get all your questions answered. We also have a poll. Please answer that, let us know how we're doing. And
yeah.
well, I was just going to say, Deanna and Quentin, we're just thrilled to have you guys as our partners officially, and the whole Marquee team. And thank you so much for joining us today and all the work that you put in and will continue to put in making sure that the pawnbrokers have everything that they need and helping us.
Thank you so much.
Bravo. Yeah. Tally, anything you want to add?
The feelings are mutual. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, you stole my thunder, Catherine. Just kidding. No, I was just going to say the same thing.
Market, okay, so I just saw financing.
Yeah.
So we as a company, and Quentin can speak more on this. We do offer financing.
Yep.
Yes.
So thank you. Yeah, that's a good question in terms of the financing. So we have various levels of clients, as I mentioned earlier briefly. Our largest client, to give you an idea, is the U.S. military. And then we do deal with department stores, cruise ship lines. Of course, they're not out at sea at the moment, but they will be in the future. We also work with many pawn shops. Depending on the relationship, we do offer net terms. And those net terms are something that we discuss, again, on a case-by-case basis. So definitely our institutional level buyers, they all have net terms because, frankly, that's the only way that they operate. But for our pawn clients, it is a case-by-case basis. But as we get familiar with anybody, of course, we're willing to offer terms based on the relationship.
Awesome. Any other questions before we wrap up? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here and spending 45 minutes with us. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions or if you want, Deanna's contact info, you can always reach out to me and I'll pass that along. My email is tally@baya.com. We really appreciate your time. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.